At this point, we can confidently say that building our early retirement abroad is already changing our lives.
And no, it's not because we won the lottery.
In the next few minutes, we'll show you how the process of building our early retirement abroad has already changed our retirement budget. And not just that, it has changed our mindset, our time, and now we know what enough really means to us from this point on.
And if you have ever wondered how people actually pull off early retirement without having millions in the bank, well, come and find out as we go on this journey together.
The light bulb came on when we realized that time, and especially healthy time, actually has an expiration date.
It does.
The retirement age of 65 or over often run the risk of not realizing their dreams of adventure, all because an awful illness got in the way.
We are both in our 50s, still helping our last two kids launch into adulthood, but we realize that our best years of health and energy are actually right now.
A new way of thinking changed everything. We decided we did not want to wait till we were 65 to start living, to living the life we worked so hard to save for. So we started building our early retirement abroad, even before leaving home. And we've been on this journey for several years now. We started comparing real costs of living in the US versus abroad, cost of housing, food, healthcare, and travel. And when we laid it all out in a spreadsheet, well, the difference was massive.
That was massive, true. We did find out that in several countries such as Croatia, Turkey, Greece, Albania, Montenegro, and so many others low-cost countries lower than the US, just housing alone, modern one-bedroom near the sea in many of these countries range from $600 to $1,200 a month, while in many U.S. coastal cities, you can't get anywhere near the sea with those amounts.
And the cost of healthcare? Well, in the U.S., cost of healthcare is increasing at about $1,200 per person per month.
Cost of health insurance only. We're not talking about co-pays or anything out of pocket.
Cash pay, private care costs much less. We will be talking more about healthcare in depth. We'll show you international expat and nomad insurance plans in the next episodes.
Subscribe and share with us in the comments any tips of what you have learned on your own journey to planning your own retirement. When we did see these cost comparisons, then it did get obvious to us that time was more precious than money to us. We don't really need to work much longer to just keep affording more. We actually need to just lower our cost of living. We need to find ways to live smarter so we can reclaim the youth of our senior years, as they say.
And we took this idea on the road. We did several exploratory trips, some in lower cost countries in Europe, which actually happens to be the continent we want to plan to spend most of our time, our early retirement. We visited countries such as Greece, Cyprus, Turkey, Albania, Montenegro, and Croatia.
We visited Italy and south of France. Those are not exactly very low cost compared to the US, somewhat lower, but not as low as the first countries that Kevin just mentioned.
And more exploratory visits are coming up in our list of Southern European countries, East Asia, and Latin America.
And everywhere we went, we did study how people live their daily life.
Healthier lifestyles by living in a connected community.
They value their connections with each other a whole lot more than work and productivity as we do here in the US.
They got their exercise on by walking everywhere, seeming to be spending more time socializing outside rather than online.
Wonder that people in some of these countries have the highest longevity in the planet.
Figured out we want a piece of that too.
It dawned on us that building our early retirement abroad, at least in our case, it will not be simply about stretching our dollar further and going into a country that is much cheaper than the US. Yeah, that's a great bonus that will save us a ton of money in early retirement. But even further than that, the mindset shift that we experienced once we figured out that we can live with less abroad, it was that living our early retirement abroad now got to be more about living somewhere where life actually does feel richer, not just because of money, but because of more connection.
We build our strategy, our bridge year plan. That is the bridge financing that is needed for the years between the time you stop working and begin early retirement and when Social Security and perhaps a pension and Medicare kick in.
How it works for us. We will sell our main home and invest part of the proceeds and use the rest, including our rental income, to fund several years of slow travel based at a low-cost home abroad.
Plan for 9 months abroad and 3 months in the U.S. with 3 separate visits. We believe this should be enough to stay close to family and still save 40% compared to staying full-time in the U.S. We've also built a second budget, an emergency one if life happens, which it does. We'll share more with you in our next episodes.
Financial breathing room that this creates for us is already changing how much freer we already feel. Of course, Kevin, the biggest question that everybody will ask is, well, you got the money part, and what about the healthcare now? I cannot afford to retire early. I will lose my employer's self-insurance, lose my health without insurance.
That's a fair question and a very fair point too, because healthcare costs are like a roadblock that keeps so many people from retiring early.
Since we're talking about healthcare, and what we found out actually might surprise you. The price point of easy and quick access to healthcare in many countries abroad is so much less costly and much faster service than even here in the US. In Portugal, we found out a private doctor visit would just cost about $40 to $60, and in Turkey, a private hospital stay on average $350 to $750 per day. Island comprehensive checkup at state-of-art facility, full labs, imaging, heart tests, and cost under $300.
That's less than 1 month of U.S. premiums. For us, healthcare abroad, well, that does not present a risk. It's actually part of our healthy retirement plan.
The biggest change is not simply shedding light to our happier wallet at this point. It is what we are experiencing already, the mindset shift. Planning our early retirement abroad changed how we approach both our time and our money.
Once we figured out the safe number to retire early in a low-cost country, we started asking, how do we actually want our days to be? Really, how do we want our retirement days to feel?
We already envision our retirement savings, freedom, and connection in new communities. Every dollar that we save for our retirement does not make us anymore feel deprived of something. It is more about the direction that we do give that dollar and the purpose that it will have for our early retirement. And that's exciting. A dollar is not going anymore to another piece of furniture from Costco or more clutter.
We thought we were just building a plan, but we found out what we actually built, well, it was a new lens for how to live. That, my friend, is purpose, our new life purpose. And purpose led us to the other big discovery. It's being part of a community, having a feeling of belonging and usefulness.
We saw this everywhere we traveled. Neighbors helping each other, people eating together, living slower, enjoying their 3 hours, drinking their little espresso cup and talking to the friends at the coffee table. Much more meaningful and deeper, more present lives.
Part of our plan is to volunteer, learn languages, integrate in community local projects, can give as we grow. This idea speaks to you. Here is how to start building your early retirement abroad. 2 budgets, one for your current lifestyle in the U.S. and one abroad, country that fits your needs the best.
We will share more on how to sort this through in the other episodes.
2, compare healthcare options and costs. When you know real numbers, well, it changes everything. We do share real numbers on various episodes on our channel. Start taking scouting trips. Don't just vacation, but go with a goal to test drive your future.
It's exactly how we started, not by just guessing, but by gathering facts and experiences during our exploratory trips. Once you see the math actually in place and feel the local rhythm daily in life, in the country that you are actually exploring, your mindset starts to shift. Started to stress a lot less as we look forward now with excitement to our early retirement, while taking each step that is needed to get ready for it. During this process, we figured out our life's purpose and how to integrate in local communities where we can actually be of service. And that fuels even more our desire for early retirement because now we have even more to look forward to.
We used to think that freedom would start the day we stopped working. Now we see freedom has already started to fill our days as we build our retirement planning differently.
That is a lot of change that we are experiencing already in our lives, now that we have built a plan of our early retirement abroad.
Guys, if you're dreaming of building your freedom before age 65, Join us here at Smart Retirement Abroad.
We'll keep sharing our numbers, our research, and our findings of our exploratory trips we have been finding out and learning during these experiences, and we'll share with you on how you can design your own early retirement bridge year with confidence.
Freedom doesn't start the day you stop working. No, it starts the day you start building your smart retirement.
Do join our Smart Retirement community by clicking that notification bell button. Hit a like if this video brought any value to you. Until next time, I'm Ella.
I'm Kevin.
And this is
Smart Retirement Abroad.